Welcome back to chapter 2, and this is called the mind map. And let me tell you why I do this. I've been professionally working with numbers for a long time, like 36 years or so, and I can look at somebody's budget sheet like this, and just from looking at the numbers, I can get a pretty good idea where things are going. I can kind of visualize what's going on. But for a lot of people, and even me sometimes, it's awfully hard to get this concept of all these numbers going. In fact, it kind of seems like this, and this is a great picture, I think, of the inside of my brain. I don't know about yours, I can't speak for that, but there's a lot going on. And I have found that a really good way to get a hold of everything is to do what people in education have been doing for years, and that's called a mind map. And I get clients in there, and I'm going to show you an example in a second, and I actually create on an artist pad with magic markers or whatever they call them now, not magic markers, but I make a map of where people's going. And I think you might like to try this. You don't have to get a whole artist pad out, and you can do it electronically. At the end, I'll show you an electronic version of this. Just look up mind mapping on Google. You'll find some free apps where you can make a mind map right online. But let me give you a quick example of how I do this. And pretty much with every client that comes in, whether we do it virtually with one of those electronic versions of a mind map, or if we do it with pen and paper, we try to get this concept in just because it helps to get a handle on things. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll make a mind map with a client, and we'll sort of do an intake, and then they'll go home and I'll go for a bike ride. And while I'm on that ride, I let my brain do what brains do, and that is go through all the facts and figures. And by the time I get back from the ride, I have usually a pretty good idea.
So we're going to start off with just the name of my clients. Put that in the middle there. And we're going to call this Ced and Liz. And so now all we're going to try to do is get a sense of where they are in terms of money going out and money coming in. Now they're getting ready to retire, and the first thing we've noticed is that they both have Social Security income. So we're just going to list this over here, and it works out to be about $2,100 for Ced and about $2,400 for Liz. So we know we've got $4,500 a month coming in of Social Security. So I just make a little box around that, and that's our first income. In addition, we have a pension coming in. And Ced was lucky enough to have a pension that's going to pay him about $3,500 a month. So we just get that in there. Now we know between the two, we've got, $8,000 a month of income. See? So it's that simple. I mean, it's just, and then we want to do, I like to use red, not because it's Christmas, but because red means money going out. And we know they still have a mortgage. That's $2,100 a month. And they also, their preliminary retirement budget, besides the mortgage, is about another $3,000 a month. So that's expenses. So altogether, they've got about $5,100 in money that at least they're planning to have go out. And then, from there you can do all kinds of creative things. We could look at whether they're, part of this $5,100 might include $300 a month for their Medicare supplement. So we can put that there sort of in parentheses just so we know we have it. And then you can do things like they have 2 kids, all right? They have Mike, who's 22, and Jen, who's 28. And just they're sort of part of the family, and they're the heirs. So now we know we have this here. And they have a home. Speaking of that mortgage, their home is worth about $380,000. And of that, the equity is about 280. So they have about 100,000 left on this mortgage down here. So we'll just connect that box, and so on. So all we're doing with this thing is just trying to get a picture of where we are. Sometimes we like to put in that you know, their goals in retirement. What they want to do is they want to see Europe, and they want to do some volunteer work. And Sed wants to write a book. So we just have these over here just so that we can kind of plan on them. So when we do our financial planning, we can have some goals to aim for, and we put those in there. And also, they figured out that their parents are going to have an inheritance for them, but they also may have to take care of their parents. So we're just going to list Bill and Mary over here. And Bill is 83 and Mary is 82. And we'll just put them there so that, because there may be care involved and there's a possible inheritance, but we don't know what. And so now we just, all of these things that were like swimming around in their head, we can just list them all here. And it just gives us a sense of where we're at, so that when we sit down and actually do the work, we have this map in front of us so that we know how to allocate resources to take care of potential expenses that we have, or so that we know how to take care of the income that's coming in and we can count on it. So that's basically all we're doing with one of these, but I can't tell you how much it helps.
So here's what one of the electronic versions looks like, and this is actually taken from someone who we worked with. We changed the names to protect the innocent, but we get a sense of where they are, and it's just a way to kind of grasp everything mentally, and then we get a sense from looking at it how everything flows together, what's connected and what's not connected, and you might want to give it a try. So if you're thinking of retiring and you're feeling a little overwhelmed by the numbers, try making a mind map. I think you might find that it will work for you just as well as it's worked for me and a lot of my clients throughout the years. Hope this helps. See you on the next video.